with long-standing relationships with the department that we expect will continue. As promised, we have had ongoing and transparent dialogue with the offerers to ensure we had a clear understanding of their proposals and that they would have a clear understanding of our analysis of them. Throughout, we've also responded to requests for information from members of Congress, and we appreciate the manner in which our oversight committees have respected the acquisition process and its legal underpinnings. When it came to requirements, we wanted to make absolutely certain that the warfighter was still in charge of stating their requirements, and that if those requirements were met, we could go to war on day one. General Schwartz and I are confident that when our young pilots, boom operators, and maintainers receive this aircraft, they will have the tools they need to be successful at what we ask them to do. We promised a fair, open, and transparent process, and we continue to deliver on that today by sharing publicly those elements of our analysis permitted by statute, federal acquisition regulations, and prior case law. Information that is considered proprietary or source selection sensitive will not be discussed unless specifically exempted in regulation or case law, out of deference to the offerers and the process as it continues forward. In short, today's statement will be the extent of our public release of information. This source selection process determined whether or not the proposals demonstrated the ability of an offerer to deliver all 372 mandatory requirements, and whether non-mandatory capabilities would be addressed. It also took into account fleet mission effectiveness and life cycle costs, as embodied in fuel efficiency and military construction costs. We then requested and received final proposal revisions from each offerer. Here is the information that we are able to release. Both offerers were deemed to have met the mandatory requirements and were considered awardable. Because the difference between the total evaluated prices in present value terms was greater than 1%, yielding substantial savings to the taxpayer, the non-mandatory capabilities, while evaluated, were not used in determining the outcome. The contract awarded today is for the engineering and manufacturing development, the EMD phase, which is valued at over $3.5 billion. The overall program is valued at over $30 billion, with a final amount depending on the options exercised. The program will deliver the first 18 aircraft by 2017. The aircraft will be designated the KC-46A. Following today's announcement, the Air Force will be available to debrief offerers at their request. We've also indicated to Congress our willingness to respond to questions subject to the limitations I've outlined earlier. We will have no other public comments following today's announcements to allow for that process to play out as it should between the government and the companies involved. We hope that all parties, recognizing the thorough process and intense multiple levels of review that have gone into this source selection, will respect the decision and allow this important procurement to proceed unimpeded. The warfighter deserves nothing less. I will say that as far as the timing of today's announcement is concerned, it was simply event-driven. We took the time necessary to ensure that the offers made were deemed acceptable, that there was a clear understanding between the government and the offerers, and that a fair and objective analysis was completed, and provided multiple teams the opportunity to review our work for accuracy and documentation. We've done exactly what we said we were going to do, and we took the time to do it right. A final frequent question regards basing. As we've consistently said, basing decisions are made in a separate process that involves other organizations in the Air Force. That process will take place over the course of the next couple of years. To the men and women of our Air Force, today's announcement represents a long overdue start to a much-needed program. Your Air Force leadership, supported by Dr. Carter and others throughout the Department of Defense, is determined to see this through, and we will stand behind this work. Today, based on all evaluated criteria, price, and the results of a well-documented process, we announce that the Air Force has selected the KCX proposal provided by the Boeing Company. Thank you very much.